Going to Disney World is a happy, magical escape that should be filled with fun, good memories, and wonderful times. But not all Disney vacations are created equal. Avoid these mistakes on your next Disney World trip to make sure you're having your best Disney vacation, complete with less stress and more magic. One of the most common mistakes is not giving yourself enough time. Disney World is huge, and it is really spread out. It is roughly the same size as the city of San Francisco, so it takes time to get around. Not to mention, there is just so much to do. There are 4 theme parks in Disney World, and that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what all there is to do. Cramming too much into too little time is just going to set yourself up for frustration and stress. Make sure you are realistically giving yourself enough time to enjoy each of what the 4 parks have to offer. The Disney bubble has plenty to keep you busy, and this includes enjoying the on-site resorts. Planning a resort day into your vacation gives your family a leisurely day or 2 to enjoy your resort's offerings. The pools at the Disney resorts are quite impressive, so you want to make sure that you have time to actually enjoy the resort you're staying at. While you can't enjoy the resort pools unless you're staying at that particular resort, you can absolutely go explore the other Disney resorts. I love resort hopping. There are some really great restaurants and lounges located all over in the Disney resorts. Not to mention, there's just a ton to look at and go explore. There's also a ton of activities to do outside of the parks, like boating, fishing, horseback riding, shopping, or even golfing, just to name a few. Don't miss out on all of the great fun that takes place outside of the parks in Disney World. Going to Disney World at the wrong time can turn your dream vacation into a nightmare. If you don't like crowds, then make sure you're steering clear of holidays and school breaks. Spring break and fall break are 2 of the busiest times of the whole year in Disney World. Also, keep in mind that during big events like Run Disney weekends and cheerleading competitions, crowds can hit peak levels. You also need to consider weather when planning for your Disney World trip. It gets really hot and really humid in Florida during the summer months. This time of year might not be for everyone, and going at a cooler time of the year could drastically change your overall vacation. Everyone has different preferences, so make sure you're taking your preferences into consideration and don't make the mistake of picking the wrong time of year to go. Long gone are the days of showing up at Disney World, buying a park ticket, and just going with the flow. Going to Disney World has gotten kind of complicated, and it definitely requires a plan. If you make the mistake of going in without a plan, you will be overwhelmed, stressed out, and most likely completely lost. No one wants to spend their Disney vacation like that. And let's face it, you paid good money for this vacation, so you want to make sure that you aren't wasting any of your enjoyment. Having a plan ensures that you don't miss out on anything, and it also means that you are spending less time standing around confused and more time doing fun things like going on rides. Even your dining needs to be planned out. There are several quick service dining locations, both in and outside of the parks, that don't require advanced dining reservations, but a lot of the dining locations do require them, and this includes any of the character dining. Advanced dining reservations open up 60 days before, and some of them are gone within seconds of opening. Not having a plan can cost you a lot on your Disney vacation, so don't let this happen to you. This one might be a bit controversial because I know there are people who stay off-site and absolutely love it, but personally, I think staying off-site is a huge mistake. There are a lot of perks to staying on-site, but the biggest by far is the Disney bubble. I love the Disney bubble. It's huge and it's its own magical world. When you stay on-site, you don't have to leave this magical bubble. Everything is just perfect and it's a complete experience. You also get early entry to the parks, and if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you can take advantage of extra evening hours on the nights that those are offered. You also get Disney transportation, which makes getting around Disney World both easy and convenient. Not to mention, it's so much easier to take a break from the parks instead of having to trek all the way back to your off-site hotel and then back on-site later. Like I've already mentioned, Disney World is huge. You are going to be doing a lot of walking. Nothing is more miserable than being uncomfortable on your Disney vacation. Make sure you choose the right clothing and shoes for your trip. Bring shoes that you know you can walk long distances in. You'll also want to make sure that you bring a backup pair of shoes. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your shoes, and you will be so happy you have a backup pair in the event you need them. Also, Florida can have some weird weather. I once went down the end of October, and the first day I was in the parks, it was in the low 80s. I had on shorts and a tank top with flip-flops, and I even got a little sunburned. The very next day, a freak cold front came in, and the high was 58 degrees. I absolutely froze, and I ended up having to buy sweats and a Spirit jersey to wear around in Epcot. Learn from my mistakes and make sure you bring options. Speaking of crazy weather, it rains almost every day during the summer months in Florida, and let's be honest, it rains a lot there all year long. A rain shower or two could pop up during your Disney World trip. Be prepared. You can buy umbrellas and ponchos in the parks, but you will save a bundle if you bring a poncho with you from home. These can easily fit in your park bag, and if you get caught in a rainstorm, you'll be prepared and ready to just keep having fun. If you are staying at an on-site Disney resort, then you have access to all 4 parks 30 minutes before everyone else for early entry. 30 minutes might not seem like that much time, but it can be a game changer for the rest of your day. Utilize early entry to get a jump on your rides for the day. This can also be a great time to knock out one of those super popular rides without having to wait hours or pay for an individual lightning lane later on in the day. If you aren't staying on site, then you'll still want to make sure that you arrive for rope drop. It's incredibly easy and tempting to try to do too much at Disney World. There's just so much to do and so much fun to be had. But if you overdo it, especially at the beginning of your vacation, then you can set yourself up for just being exhausted and not actually being able to enjoy your full time. Also, make sure you're staying hydrated. No one wants to suffer from dehydration at Disney. It is not fun, and it is all too common. Don't try to squeeze too much in, and take breaks when you need them. Drinking around the world is a popular quest for adults in Epcot. You start at one end of World Showcase and work your way around, getting one drink in each country's pavilions. Don't get me wrong, I love to have a few drinks at Epcot, especially at the festivals, but there are 11 pavilions in World Showcase. That is 11 varying types of alcoholic drinks, which for anyone who does drink knows that can be quite the combination. If you are going to drink around the world in Epcot, don't make the mistake of overdoing it. Know your limits and maybe find a friend or two to share with. Plus, don't forget to drink lots of water. Hopefully you found this video helpful and learned some mistakes to avoid on your next Disney World trip. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure and give it a like for me. I'll see you all next week.